So now that we have our cube and it can move, which is awesome, we need to be able to see it move no matter where it goes. So what we need to do for that is to attach our viewing angle or our camera into the world to our player so that it can follow the player no matter where it goes. So with that, if we look over here in our hierarchy, we have our player cube, which is our cube, and then right above it we have our main camera. So we've already messed with this guy a little bit. We can see that it's rotated a little bit. It's a weird position that's just a little bit high and a little bit back. But even though it's looking straight down at our player, it doesn't really follow him at all. It's only good for that one angle. How we attach something to another thing in Unity is by nesting that object underneath a main object that we care about its properties. So because our player is the thing that is moving, it has the transform property that we care about the most. It has its position and its rotation and everything else. So because we want our main camera position to update with our player's position, we want to drag our main camera and place it right on top of our player, and that will nest it underneath. And you can tell it's nested underneath because it's slightly moved to the right. We also have this little thing where we can see what's nested under and just hide those things if we really wanted to. Now this is a super important concept. Right now we're doing it fairly simply by just having the main camera update its position with the player. But if we're building a complex model of a person or a robot, that we want its arms and legs and everything to be able to move independently, but also follow the main torso, we'd have several different nested elements underneath the main player in that case. But for right now, all we have is our player and our camera. So if you'll notice that these numbers are the same as what they were, I'm going to zero them out just to show you what happens. So if I put 0, 0, and 0, we can see that our main camera is currently sitting right smack in the middle of our player. And our player isn't even at 0, 0, 0. It's raised up off of the platform just a little bit. If I was to raise this up, see how the camera will follow where the player goes. It is permanently attached. So if I look at my game view at the moment, you'll notice that I can see the level that's going up ahead, but I can't see my player. The reason why is because the camera is quite literally directly in the middle of the player. So what we need to do is select the main camera and then just move it back a little bit. We can look at our game again, and there's our player. If we played it this way, it would be particularly hard to tell what's going on because you're being blocked by this gigantic player, and we can definitely tell that it ran off the edge of that thing again, but again, it's really hard to see where we're going. So we want to go back and position our camera so it is a little bit back, but also a little bit up. Cool. And we're going to go over like this and try and click on our player cube so that we can see what we're doing here. There's our camera. Doot, doot. Let me see. Alright, so there is our player. He's down there. I can definitely see him a little bit better. Can only really see this tiny little block of him. It just kind of looks like a square. So, a bit better, but still not great. So maybe what we need to do now is to go back into our scene and rotate this guy just a little bit. Let's see. Is it this way? 20? Yep, that looks like it does it. I go over. Now we can see our player. Yay. So play around with this so it looks however you kind of want it to have look. I might move mine back just a little bit more, just to kind of give it a little bit more perspective. That looks about good. It is a personal taste, so do whatever it is that you think looks good for your game, because it is your game. Alright, that's it. That's the basic of nesting objects underneath other objects, and this is a concept, nesting, that we're going to see a lot in the future. Alright, do this, catch up, and I will see you in the next lesson.